I was gonna grab some oil, but instead I have lotion. So for today, instead of doing like a mindfulness practice, like a meditation type thing or something like that, or knitting mindfulness, my hands hurt a lot, which is one of the reasons why I'm taking a break from fingering weight socks. Particularly my thumbs and all of this area, and then down into here. It's hurting on both hands. Part of it might be that it's really cold where I am, and so it could be weather related or temperature related. I also think it's because I've been knitting socks a lot, and it puts a lot of pressure on my thumbs because I do tend to knit kind of tight. So I am going to endeavor to knit a little more loosely. I'm also taking the break from fingering weight socks, but it made me think about self-care as a knitter, and part of practicing mindfulness, I think, is paying attention to what our body needs. And that's part of mindful living and mindful practice and mindful knitting. So I thought I would share with you guys today a little bit of a self-care practice in the form of self-massage for your hands. So I don't normally take off my wedding band, but I am for the moment because I don't want to get lotion all over it. So, I'll also throw in a couple other like stretch type things. But yeah, so I will premise this by saying I am not a licensed massage therapist. I am a registered yoga teacher with Yoga Alliance, but I am not a massage therapist. And my professional license also has nothing to do with massage. So take all of this with a grain of salt. If something feels uncomfortable or unpleasant, or even painful, please don't do it. You know your body. I know nothing about your body. So if you have, things your doctor has told you not to do, if you have injuries that you're a little skeptical about, please be careful and be mindful of yourself and your health. Don't do anything if it could harm you. I am offering these as potentially helpful, and probably pretty harmless for most people, kind of suggestions, but you know yourself and your body. I don't know your body at all. So don't hurt yourself just because I am sharing some ideas. Please. If you do have, if these practices are not right for you, but you are experiencing like hand pain while you knit or from knitting or crocheting or anything else, then maybe ask your doctor or ask, about physical therapy or, something. Please don't just suffer for no reason, because that's not good for you. And, you're important and I care about you. So please take care of yourself. All right, so a little bit of hand massage. If you want to pause the video and grab some lotion or some oil, that can be a really nice addition to this. It helps, you go over your skin more smoothly, but it also helps with moisture, which is good for us. So if you want to pause and go grab that real quick, feel free to do that now. I'll assume that you're back. So I have here with me, I usually use an Ayurvedic body oil. It's a medicinal oil, but I forgot to grab it for the video, and it's going to be a whole ordeal for me to go and get it from a completely different part of the house. So instead I'm using, this is a recent acquisition that I don't think that you can see very well, because again, I don't think it is focusing on words today for whatever reason. So, yeah. Okay, I don't think it is. It's called Farmhouse Fresh, this is the company. And this is Sugar Moon Dip. Back to Youth, Ageless Mousse. Not super into that. I don't buy into the whole ageless culture thing. I feel like aging is a privilege. So, but whatever, they can call it whatever they want. It smells great, and it's very moisturizing for my hands. So I don't mind so much. This is a cool company that I just recently discovered. They have a lot of all natural, but also organic and cruelty-free, paraben-free, sulfate-free, just kind of like thoughtfully made body care products. So, and the Sugar Moon Dip is delightful. It smells great. This was also a gift that I received from my father-in-law. It smells really good. So anyway, you've got your moisture. You don't need moisture to do this, but if you have it, then go ahead and grab it. And go ahead and get a generous amount, I would say. You don't have to slather yourself, but I would say like a generous amount. Like I'm getting this much for my lotion, and I might get more in a moment. But you want to be able to glide smoothly. You can always wipe off excess later or wash your hands if you want, but I feel like having a little more is better than having too little. Or having a little too much is better than too little when it comes to stuff like massage, because you want it to glide smoothly. And so I just like to start by warming up my palms, warming up my lotion or my oil, and maybe starting to, again, mindfully bringing attention to your hands as you spread whatever moisture you've got. Or if you're not using any kind of moisturizer, then just kind of warming up your hands. This is kind of gentle. We're not squeezing hard or anything, just kind of gently warming things up. Kind of increasing some blood flow to the hands, to the fingers, maybe grabbing from the wrists and pulling out a little bit. I'm going to grab some more moisture. We're starting to get into a little bit of this care right here by pulling. Again, whatever's right for you. It doesn't have to be hard pulling. It can be gentle. I've got just like a good firm pull going on. And we're starting like about above the wrist and coming down over the wrist, over the hand, all the way to the tips of the fingers. I'm going to go ahead and do some stretches here. So just some light pressure, pulling the hand down. Again, you're not like pressing on this real hard. It's just light pressure, just encouraging the stretch through the top of the wrist and the hand. And gently kind of letting it come back up. And I'm going to go ahead and do that with the other side as well. Also, your body is different from my body. So when you're doing these stretches or massages, some things might not feel as great for you. Don't do them. Your body might not stretch in the same way as mine. Don't try to make it. Please listen to and honor what your body is needing. This is all about self-care. That's nice. And again, gently and slowly letting it come back up. And we'll go the other way as well. So just kind of gently encouraging the hand to go back, stretching out all of this stuff. And if it feels nicer, you can do it from the palm or you can do it from the fingers. Slowly coming to center and then going to the other side. Very nice. Kind of a classic interlacing the fingers. Oh, that's nice. And pressing the hands out and away from you. Oh, that's nice. Oof. Oh, so good. And this can be a really nice kind of stretch too. Kind of just bringing the backs of the hands together and letting the elbows just kind of hang down. Somehow this can feel a little different than using one hand to help the other hand. And gently bringing it back up to kind of like a center. We roll the wrists in one direction. I can hear some crunching in my left. Kind of get the fingers into it too. So you're not just, you can just do this if you'd like, but I'd encourage, if it feels good, to get your fingers into it also. And we'll go ahead and go opposite direction now. It doesn't have to be a giant movement. It can be a small one. Very nice. So I'm going to get a little more moisture again. My skin is probably soaked up what I put on it to begin with, and so now this will help it kind of glide more smoothly. So I'm going to start with the palm of the hand, and I'm going to get all this meaty bits, all this meaty goodness. And these are just kind of firm strokes. And if using your thumb doesn't feel very good, because sometimes this can, you know, make your thumbs really tired or hurt, you can use your knuckles for this. So you can use your knuckles to kind of get into the meaty bit. And I like to do that because it does hurt my thumbs sometimes to use my thumbs for massage. So I'll just use my knuckles instead. Getting into all these little meaty bits, and when I find an area that feels particularly like, ooh, I want in there, I'll just kind of go for it. And it's easier with my knuckles than with my thumb. You can always pause the video and continue doing that as long as you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and go into my fingers. So kind of making sure I kind of rub in between this little crease between my fingers, and I'm going to pull up from my finger. Getting into that little crease and then pulling up on this finger. I want to do some of these more than once. It's so nice. How often do we pay attention to these little spaces or creases or valleys in between each finger? Not often, at least for me. And again, you're not like pulling this super hard. It's just kind of like a firm kind of pulling and pressure. And then onto the back of the hands, I like to do this kind of deal where I'm getting into in between all these like little like ligaments in between. So I'm not applying tons of pressure here because there are tons of little bones and ligaments and things, so I'm not applying tons of pressure. This is more just like I am encouraging like circulation. And I'm getting into the muscles a little here, but not tons, because there are lots of like little things in your hands, so don't want to mess with that too much. And then I like to have like a firm sort of like wrapping around, and you do both directions on the wrist. Again, not tons and tons of pressure, because you've got lots of bones and things in here too. So being careful with it all. But the hand bone's connected to the arm bone. So go ahead and get your forearm too. And you can do a little bit of squeezing here. You can do the same sort of like squeeze and pull that you were doing before, but with the whole forearm. If you want some more lotion so that you can glide smoothly, you can get your knuckles and kind of rub up and down your whole forearm. Because we sometimes, you know, we get a little hyper focused on one area. We're like, oh, my hands hurt. And so we'll just do something for our hands, but your forearms are connected to your hands. And so, you know, like I was sharing before, like it's primarily this that hurts, but the pain will shoot down here. That's because everything is connected. So getting into the forearms can help with the hands as well. So something hurts with my hands, something's probably going on with my forearms too, even if it's not very obvious. You can get the heel of the hand in there and do a little wiggly motion. Whatever feels good for you. I like to do this gentle, this squeezing kind of thing. Nice. And anything, if you need to pause the video and do anything else that feels good, go for it. I'm gonna get a little bit more lotion. I also have very dry skin, so I might be using a lot more lotion than you are, which is okay. But I'm gonna get into this side. I'm just gonna do some pulls on this side again. And then get into the meaty bits of the palm. And I'm gonna use my knuckles for that so that I don't tire out my thumbs. That's nice. Whenever you feel ready to, making sure that you kind of pinch and get that little in-between spot, and before you pulling up on each of your fingers. You can kind of do this like a little rubbing back and forth, or you can kind of pinch. I don't know if you can kind of see what I'm doing here, but I'm kind of like pinching. Or you can just kind of like rub back and forth, but I kind of like the pinching method. I don't know if you can see how foggy it is outside. It's nice. One of the things I like about using like a nice like herbal oil, like a medicinal oil, like an Ayurvedic oil, or using like a nice hand cream like this, is that you also get a little bit of the, I guess like a type of aromatherapy as you're doing it as well, because it just smells so nice. You know, and one thing I forgot too is making sure that we get this, the very outside edge, like this is really meaty right here, and so I also like to make sure I get that guy. I just kind of rub on the knuckles. I think I forgot to do that on the other hand, so if you want to get your other hand with that too, then feel free. That's the stuff. I didn't even realize till now, but a lot of like the ache in my hands is coming from right here on my left. Interesting. Yeah. That's good. All right. Then moving on to the back of the hand and just kind of like pulling, you know, firmly, but you know, not like rough, kind of like a gentle firm, just kind of pulling. Mostly just increasing some good circulation. Right there is real nice. meaty, it's not quite as meaty as the front, but kind of meaty-ish in the back right here. I'm not going to do anything super rough with it, but it's super nice. All right, and onto the wrist. That just like firm squeezing is really nice on this side for me for some reason. Not so much like the twisting. That doesn't really feel like it's doing a whole lot for me right now. But on this side, just this like, just this squeezing. It's really nice. Yeah, so find what feels good for you, because you know, what my body is needing right now might not be the same as what yours is. So play around and experiment a little bit, and you can always start more gentle, and you can add more firm pressure as you go, but you don't want to do something super firm and then go, because it hurts a whole lot. Oh, that's nice. Getting the forearm. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh, it feels so nice. It's so good. It makes me want it on the other side too. Oh, so good. I'm just gonna do some of these. So this is a very, very simple kind of hand massage that you can do for yourself. Oh, so nice. And then, you know, for the necks and the shoulders, well, you only have one neck, but we all collectively have many necks, I guess. But, so for the neck and the shoulders, just, you know, like a very, very quick, simple thing. We're often kind of like this, you know, like, and even if we're straight, we're still kind of like usually down and like a little forward. So what I have found very helpful is during at least once a day, but I try to do this multiple times a day, and especially if I'm doing a lot of knitting, is I just like open up. I'm gonna try not to hit anything. I don't have tons of space. I like just open up. Do a little bit of a head tilt back. You don't have to do that if that's crunchy on your neck, then you can just keep your neck straight up. But I open my arms up wide out like a T and then back, so that I am opening up my whole chest and my shoulders, and my shoulders aren't up, they're down. So if it helps to kind of roll them back and down first, and then kind of reach back with the arms, with the palms facing to the front. But you can flip them to where the thumbs are down and they're facing to the back, and that kind of gets like a bicep stretch too, and like an upper arm stretch, which is kind of nice. You can also do this like in a door frame, where you know, put your hands on either side of the door frame and you let yourself lean in through the door, and you kind of let the door facilitate that like opening up of your chest and your shoulders. And I need to do it with my neck going back a bit. You don't want to like super go back with the neck and crunch the neck a ton, because we don't want to like hyperextend your neck. But yeah, that opening, I'm already feeling better after doing that like opening. But yeah, and so anything else you feel like you need for your hands? So that's our short little hand stretch and massage for today. Oh, I forgot something actually. This looks weird, but it's really nice. It's this. Oh, that's so good. So it's like your wrists are staying connected the whole time, and you're just rolling. And you want to do it both directions. And you're getting like a nice stretch with this. You're also getting really good mobility. Since your wrist is against the other wrist, you're also getting like, it's just some firm but light pressure. I'm gonna go the other direction. So it's almost like you're getting massage at the same time on the wrists. This is great. It looks real weird, but it's real good. Again, if your wrists will allow you to do this. So listen to your body. You're also kind of like getting onto the backs of the hands as they roll against each other. Good stuff. Actually, my hands feel a lot better after doing that. I'm glad I remembered to throw that one in. So I hope that that was helpful.